Okay, all right. So today we're going to talk about linear law, applications of straight line graph. So the rule is this: you must form a linear graph, so you must have y equals mx plus c. In the past, y must be a small letter y, x must be a small letter x. And where does the xy come from? It comes from your Cartesian plane x, y. So that's why it must be a y here and a small letter x here. It must because the Cartesian plane looks like this one. Now, in this chapter, your y-axis and x-axis can be in different forms, but there's a limitation. The y-axis must have a variable x or y or both x and y inside. The coefficient must be equals to 1. Just like in the past where we do small letter y equals to mx plus c, the coefficient must also be 1. So nothing new. Now for the gradient, it must be a constant so that it will look like a straight line. For your capital X here, it must be a variable with x or y or both x and y inside. So it doesn't matter as long as it's a variable. And finally, the last one is a constant plus c. Now c is the y-intercept, right? It must be a constant. Okay, if you can, don't always assume c is 0. So we have this question here. Now, if we plot this as normally y and x, if we plot it, that means we sub in x value, okay, like x equals to 1, x equals to 2, x equals to 3, x equals to 4, and then we start to plot. It's not a straight line. So the challenge now is I need to put it into this form, because this is a straight line form, right? Such that it becomes a straight line when I plot it. So I'm going to manipulate this algebraically. Okay, I'm going to manipulate this algebraically such that it will be in the form whereby it's a variable equals to constant times variable plus constant. Okay, so it's very simple only. Just remember like that. Variable equals to constant times variable plus constant, which is your normal y equal mx plus c. So what's the first thing you will do? What did y'all do just now? Y'all did try two things, right? What was the first thing y'all tried? No? Really? I thought y'all either expand or cross multiply. What?
Oh, expand.
Yeah, so you either expand or cross multiply. So I will show you a simple method. Okay, later we will expand this. I will come to this later why I write this down. So I will expand it. And what's the trick? Very simple only. I'm not going to form 6 different types, although I can. I'm just going to form 3 different types so that you can see the pattern clearly. Very simple only. Divide by x, divide by x, divide by x. Okay, so the trick number 1 is I'm going to divide by x. What do you think trick number 2 will be? Yeah, divide by y, I will get it already. What do you think trick number 3 will be? Don't need to times, still divide. Divide by?
XY.
Yes, divide by xy, which is what Shi Hao got just now. Okay, so he may have gone through a longer process, but actually just like that. Okay, we'll do it a very fast one. Then you see that this is actually very easy. Now if I divide by x, so I will have, divide by x, I will get y equals to 2 plus 2y over x. So I'm going to write it in the form that it is. That's done already. Okay, I'm going to use this as my y-axis lah. Okay, I can use this as my y-axis, but I use this because faster ma. Equals to the gradient times the x-axis plus the y-intercept. Variable equal constant, variable plus constant. Simple, huh? Okay, now we try this, divide by y. What do I get? Now I try to formulate it in such, it's already gradient intercept form already, right? Done already. What's that? Okay, so what does this mean, everyone? Listen now. What do I put as my y-axis? Very simple. Later, the second lesson, you'll learn how to do this. Okay, it's really simple. Now, how do I do this? What is the y-axis? What is the y-axis? Okay, now what happens if I divide everything by xy, xy, xy? This will become my constant. This will become my 2 over y. Now, why do I write it this way? Okay, later we'll see. This one is 2, 1 over x. Okay, so now the questions, go back to this. The question insists that they want it to be 1 over x against 1 over y. Do you all learn this in all your sciences? Which one is your y-axis? Which one is your x-axis? So this is your, please take note. This is, you must know, this is your y-axis. Sometimes they use the word versus. This one is your x-axis. Okay, so I will have 2, 1 over x. And this one will be negative 2, 1 over y plus 1. Okay, plus 1. Okay, what happened is I just bring this over. I bring this over. Okay, what did I say about coefficient? Must be 1 here, right? So divide by 2. Divide by 2. Divide by 2. So what do I plot? What is the gradient of the straight line later? Negative 1, right? And what was the y-intercept? Half log. The gradient will be negative 1. So we have transformed, if we plot it normally as an x and y, a curve, we have transformed it into a straight line. Okay, so that's all for this part. Can we pause? Stop the video.